the Lotus Sisters, and we've been called to make this video today because we've been asked to speak about the spiritual perspective or the Akashic Records perspective with coronavirus. And issues around that.
Yeah, we've certainly had a lot of people asking if we do online appointments at the moment.
Yeah.
Yes, we do. And online appointments are great because you can do it from the safety of your own home. You can be in your pajamas, whatever, and it's obviously very safe. So
just as powerful.
Just as powerful, exactly. So one of the things we wanted to talk about just from the soul perspective of the coronavirus and the soul lessons or soul karma and things like that we're learning at this time has a lot to do with fear. So fear is very much lodged in our lower chakra system, so around our base chakra, our root chakra, sacral, and even our solar plexus. This is where a lot of our strong emotions are. It's also where our foundations are very... it's the area of our foundations, our safety and our stability. So there's a lot around fear, isn't there?
Yeah, and transmuting that fear into love.
Yeah.
So we'll sort of go into how we can do that.
Yeah.
Just interestingly, we looked up the metaphysical meaning for a virus this morning, and viruses are believed to come from the emotional cause of resentment and bitterness. So we just think it's interesting to bring up looking as a collective at what we might be resentful at, in society, but also individually, what we might be resentful, what might be festering under the surface that really needs to be brought forward and looked at the moment.
And, you know, with fear, for instance, that anxiety around fear does lower the immune system. So if we can move this fear into a state of love, then we're actually strengthening our body from being invaded by a virus. So, because that's the whole thing about a virus, whether it's corona or other viruses, it's the invasion of a foreign body into our cells and things like that. So forgiveness and love are really important at this time. Forgiveness of others and as a collective.
Yeah, and I just got then as well, it's being aware of what invades our consciousness as well. So being aware of what we're letting in, the hysteria on the news. It's important to stay informed, yes. But what are we letting invade our consciousness? Are we letting fear messages, scarcity messages come in?
And being aware that the media gets money, like you know, the media gets a lot of it is about fear a lot of time. It sells newspaper. Fear sells newspapers and things. Be informed, yes, but be aware of the hysteria. And we know that hysteria
and
it is, and we only have to see that in our supermarkets at the moment. Okay, so the more we can be grounded in love and in forgiveness, the more we strengthen our body from the core. And the emotional, spiritual side, the more we can sort of protect ourselves and our loved ones. But it's also interesting to think about the astrology behind all of this. We've had, at the start of the year, we had around 5 planets in Capricorn. Capricorn is about systems and the flaws in our systems. So we know the coronavirus is bringing up all sorts of flaws in our economic systems, our health systems,
education systems,
government systems, all of these huge systems that support us as a collective are it's like they're poked holes in, you know, and it's like, wow, we didn't know we had these flaws before the coronavirus came about. So it's really interesting. So it's like astrology is showing us that, hey, these things are going to happen. Also
looking at our systems within our family systems and stuff, like we're all having to stay at home and spend time with family and spend time with ourselves. So looking at what's not working on the home front as well. So certainly outside ourselves, but also within ourselves. Like what's not working? You know, is it hard for you to stay at home?
Why?
And why? So looking at that as well.
With a lot of retrograde planets, we actually have more retrograde planets than we usually have. And when planets go retrograde, it's about inner work, inner stillness, finding power within, using your own inner resources for strength and things like that. So with this virus, with a lot of the economic changes and in importing and exporting and, you know, pretty much a stop on air travel and things like that. We're having to rely on ourselves more, on local communities more and things like that, and environmental sustainability and all of that. So it's big changes in this area.
Yeah.
And the planets going retrograde is an indication of that.
Yeah.
It's highlighting that.
Yeah. So it's about taking stock, and it's like, you know, it is devastating what's going on.
Yes.
It's tragic, it's devastating, but there is some silver linings around it. Like, we're all going to be stuck inside possibly for quite some time.
Yeah.
So looking at that as, okay, so I've got this time. So what are you going to do with it? Are you going to stay bitter and keep blaming the systems, or are you going to do inner work?
Yeah, it is. It's a wonderful time for self-development. Quarantine equals spiritual and creative breakthroughs. Okay, so we're all having to do this work. We're all having to be self-responsible by staying within so the virus doesn't spread. So how can we use this time in our house? Make your house a sanctuary. Do some clean outs. Work on those creative projects. Do all those things that you've just been pushing aside because you've been searching externally for
All
a long
those
time.
one-day projects, you know,
Yeah.
one day I'll write a book, one day I'll get my business up and running, one day. That's now.
Yeah.
We've got no excuse.
Yeah.
We've all got going to have a lot of time on our hands.
Yeah.
So what are those things you've been pushing onto the back burner for years?
Yeah.
We're getting forced to look at that stuff.
Yeah. And a lot of industries will fall as part of this, but a lot will thrive. And very much the working at home, you know, scenarios might do really well, and also online entrepreneurship and things like that. So that's very much a movement at the moment, or, you know, online books and things like that. So, yeah, being aware of that inner work and those inner callings. But if you would like to explore this more, which we very much recommend at this time, what your soul is wanting for you at this time, what your guides are wanting for you at this time, or what you need to release, please book in for an online appointment. And we can explore this to, you know, that real depth, and to give you some guidance around this, some intuitive wisdom. So that's it from us.
Yeah. Thanks for listening, guys. And
Please take care.
yeah, best of luck getting through
safe.
this difficult time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bless.
Bless.
Okay. See ya.